Clay Allison was probably the most dangerous of all the killers who challenged Washington's authority as Marshal of Dodge City in 1876. Modern doctors would diagnose Allison as an alcoholic psychopath, but to the men of the western frontier, his character was baffling. Only a rough and ready psychologist like Wyatt Earp stood any chance in personal conflict with Allison. And for Marshal Earp, there was the deadly risk of guessing wrong.
Clay Allison's on his way into town. He's coming to gun Marshal Earp.
You go warn Miss Dora. I'll find her. Wyatt. This is private, Hal. Got to excuse us.
Sure, Mr. Kelly. Well, you look all out of breath.
We may both be out of breath. Permanent.
When are you looking for that to happen?
Remember my telling you I suspected Pete Albright of setting a price on your head? Well, I was right. He's hired Clay Allison. Clay Allison.
You sure?
Yep.
Mr. Allison in town?
Not yet, but maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Now, don't try any smart aleck stuff with Allison. Just go down to Front Street and shoot him off his horse. Clay'll know I warned you. It's my skin I'm thinking of.
You see, you let a good impulse overpower you again.
Impulse nothing. Everybody's got the fool idea I'm a friend of yours. And they'll tell Clay Allison that. Well, what are you going to do?
Well, how well do you know Mr. Allison?
Too well. I got drunk with him a couple of times when I was in the Army. It's a miracle he didn't blow my head off.
Why didn't he?
I was on furlough and I didn't pack a gun. And Allison didn't reach a killing edge. When he drinks, he's got to get a real edge on before he kills. Well, now get started for Front Street, unless you're scared.
Sit down, Mr. Kelly.
But sit down? Well, man, you got no time to sit down.
Just sit down, Mr. Kelly, and tell me about Mr. Allison. Now, if he's going to come gunning for me, I better know a little bit about him. Maybe your life will depend on it.
Hey, mister.
Yeah?
You better step inside. There's word that Clay Allison's on his way here.
That's all.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly's place, huh?
Yeah, but he ain't here. He went to warn Marshal Earp about Allison.
I did. I reckon I'll step out of the sun while I wait.
Yeah, you do that, mister. The guns, mister. It's town law to check them on that rack yonder.
All right.
Give me some whiskey.
All right, sir.
Oh, and I might add, I'm an old friend of Kelly's.
Oh, no friend of Kelly's, huh? Well, that makes a difference. Must have been before Kelly come to Dodge.
That's right. Jim was in the Army.
Oh, in the Army?
That smells like pretty fair whiskey.
It's out of Mr. Kelly's own bottle, mister. I got standing orders. Any friend of his is a friend of... Did I miss hearing your name?
Jim knows me.
Oh.
Now, come on, or are you just stalling?
One more question, Mr. Kelly. What does Mr. Allison worry about?
Well...
Our drinkers usually worry about something. Does he ever mention the men that he's killed, or talk about the fight, or try and defend the killing?
Allison? What silly talk. Why should he bother his head about it? No, the only thing I ever heard him worry about was his cartridges.
Cartridges?
He don't use factory loads. Does all his own loading, just to make sure he don't have a misfire. Well, that's enough, jabber. You're scared of Allison.
Yes, I am.
In solemn truth? You're gonna hunch a hole? I don't understand you, Wyatt.
Look, I'm trying to understand the reasoning of this man, Allison. Well, he's afraid, so he drinks to kill his fear. The drink gives him courage to do the killing. So he winds up being hostile towards everybody. I think I'm beginning to see what makes him tick. I just hope I can handle him.
Wyatt, Clay Allison's in town.
Where?
Mr. Kelly's saloon.
I knew it. He'll think I'm your friend and shoot me down.
Marshal Earp, Clay Allison wants to see you at the Alhambra Saloon.
You tell him I'll be down in a half hour or so. I haven't had my dinner yet.
Clay ain't gonna like being kept waiting.
In a half hour, tell him.
I thought you were going to run. Wish there was something I could do to help you.
Oh, there is. You can encourage Mr. Allison to get drunk in a hurry.
You want him to reach a killing edge real quick?
You tell him I said that, will you?
Never doubt it. I'll tell him. And the sooner he gets rid of you, the better I'll feel. Well, howdy, Clay. Haven't seen you in ages.
Howdy, Jim. Hey, you always did have decent manners.
Well, the man I like, sure. Hold that. I'll join you. Soapy.
Yes, sir.
This is right fine whiskey, Jim.
Is this my bottle?
Yes, sir.
Then you got the best. Well, Clay, here's to old times.
Old times. Yeah, you're real polite, Jim. Tell me, why don't you teach Wyatt Earp some manners?
How's that?
Well, I sent him word I wanted to see him, talk to him.
He sent back a message that I'd have to wait until he ate dinner.
That's kind of rude, I'd say.
Forget it and drink up.
No.
Where does Earp generally have dinner, Jim?
One place or another.
I'll find him.
Clay, what's your complaint against her?
No complaint, Jim. I just want to find out if he's as brave as his friends brag. I'll see you after a while.
Sure, Clay. Soapy,
Yes, sir.
how many did he have?
2.
Just 2? Would he go against Earp cold sober?
Time will tell.
Pardon me, mister. You're supposed to check those guns. That's Marshal Earp over there.
All right. So that's Wyatt Earp, huh? The great Wyatt Earp. I've been wanting to talk to him. Mr. Earp, my name's Allison, Clay Allison.
Oh, glad to know you, Mr. Allison. Did you get my message?
Yeah? I told Jim Kelly you didn't have decent manners. Then maybe I'm being rude, disturbing a man at his victuals, huh?
Well, you're not disturbing me. Sit down.
Thanks.
You, want to talk to me about something?
Yeah. There's been a lot of mean gossip about me.
Oh?
You may hear it. They say I take money for gunning a man.
Oh, I've heard stories like that.
Well, they ain't true. Any fights I ever been in, money had nothing to do with it.
I believe that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Say, what make of these?
No make. I load my own.
You do? Well, that's a mighty fine job. You set the primer absolutely flush, huh? You know, I had to stop hand loading because I used to set a bumpy primer. The thing would hang up in the cylinder.
You must be clumsy with tools.
All thumbs. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of forgetful, too. Once I double-loaded a shell and almost broke my wrist when the gun went off.
Well, I never forget. My memory's perfect. I'd rather trust it than some factory loader.
Well, if a man's got a perfect memory and if he doesn't drink, why, it's smart to use hand loads.
What's stricken got to do with it?
Well, they say it's kind of rough on the brain. It's kept up too long.
I've heard all that doctor talk. Injures a man's recollection, they say. But I never hand load when I drink. And I've never had a shell misfire on me.
Hmm? Well, you're mighty lucky, Mr. Allison. Hope you never do.
Are you a betting man?
Oh, I've been known to sometimes.
Got about 100 cartridges on me. I'll let you load my guns, picking shells out of the 100. And I'll bet you 20 to 1 they all fire. I'll make it 30 to 1. You game to bet?
Yeah, all right. Why don't you strap on your guns? We'll go out back to the livery stable.
Good.
Oh, now, don't you worry, Miss Jean. We'll be careful. Miss Jean's kind of afraid of guns.
Oh?
There you are, Mr. Allison. All fresh loads.
Thank you, Mr. Earp.
30 to 1, you don't have a misfire, huh?
That's right.
Why don't you just cut down on those tin cans over there?
There, you see? My guns never misfire. Pay me.
Well, that's real fine shooting, Mr. Allison. $1.
Thank you. Come on over to Jim Kelly's. I'll buy you a drink.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but I don't drink. I'll see you around, though.
Sure. Well, where you been?
Waiting to talk to you, in private. I heard a couple of shots. I thought maybe you...
Not yet, Albright. In my own time.
I got the men I promised to back you.
Where?
They're lounging around over at my store. I also got the money.
Didn't you hear what I said the other day?
Don't get sore. I thought maybe you changed your mind.
No. I just finished denying to Earp that dirty gossip.
All right, all right.
It ain't all right. You started that talk about paying me.
No, Clay, no! No!
2 misfires. Forgot to reload my guns. Get on your feet.
That's just a joke, huh, Clay?
Yeah, sure, just a joke. It's the first time I ever forgot to reload after firing my guns. Earp did it. Him and his jabber about my memory. He talked me into forgetting. It's another reason to kill him. A John Law acting smart aleck with me.
Well, reload it and go get him.
No. I'll have me one drink first.
Kelly.
Hey.
Sure, Clay.
I got smallpox. Sit down, my dear old friend.
Well, hold it. You're almost out of liquor.
Never mind. Just sit down. I want you to know that I don't like your choice of new friends. And I mean Wyatt Earp.
He's no friend of mine.
You are a liar, Kelly. You warned him I was coming to town. You've been trying to make me drunk.
You are drunk, and don't call me a liar.
Keep your fist to yourself and sit down. It's better. Did you see that draw? Now look at his gun barrel. Not a quiver. Steady on your belly, Kelly. Not like that. Steady on your belly, Kelly. It ought to be a song.
You're not fuzzy drunk yet. You're just mean drunk.
That's right. My cartridges are all fired. I proved that to Earp.
There, you see?
The gun went off, didn't it? I got your man right where I wanted to get him. I feel fast but steady. You see any chance for Earp?
Not much. Nope.
Honest, Jim Kelly, you made the right answer. You know I like you, Kelly. That's why you ain't dead. But I don't like Earp. He thinks she's too brave.
Quiet, my friend. Where you been? You said I'd see you around.
Who fired that shot in there?
Oh, the barkeep started for a gun. I didn't hurt him much. I just creased his hand. Ask Jim Kelly.
I will.
I'll be all right in a second. Why? It's just liquor makes me dizzy. I took too much, I reckon. Oh, Wyatt. You know, I don't feel very good, Wyatt. I think I'll go into the alley.
Yeah, you do that, Mr. Allison.
Where's Allison?
Went around in the alley to drink himself some more courage.
Well, take this and cut him in two.
No. Mr. Allison's only got a couple of six-shooters.
Well, go after him. He winged Soapy and threatened to kill me. Well, what are you stalling for now?
I don't want to have to kill him, Mr. Kelly.
Well, why not?
Will you just take it easy?
Easy, he says. Clay Allison at the killing edge, and he takes it easy. Well, now, you can't hide in here. The whole town's watching you and Clay.
Yeah, and they're all just blind stupid like you are.
Oh, they are they?
Look, I had the drop on Mr. Allison out there. I could have buffaloed him over the head or shot him.
Then why didn't you?
Because he's crazy. Drunk crazy. I want to give him one more chance.
To kill you?
Maybe. But I'm hoping he'll just get so drunk he'll quit. Well, we may have to shoot it out. I'm not saying it won't end that way. But I thought at least you'd have enough sense to understand.
Man waiting to get killed's easy to figure. You're tired of living.
Oh, look, Mr. Kelly, listen to me, will you?
Huh?
There's nothing wrong with my eyes.
Yeah, you can do the job. Yeah.
Hold it waist high.
It's pretty fast, huh? Plenty fast.
Yeah. Wyatt, don't try to worry me about my cartridges. Any man stooped to a trick like that is just plain yellow.
He's hiding in Kelly's saloon.
I'll get him out of there. But how do I know his deputies won't gun me in the back?
Take a look at my store. There's a dozen men in there willing to back you up.
I'll tell you something, Albright. I don't need him. You go fetch my horse. I kill a marshal, I want to get out of town quick.
Hey, you Johnny Laws. You go tell Earp to quit hiding. Tell him to come out here and make his fight.
The worst thing a marshal can do is to kill a man, no? Sure, you may think he deserves it, but his relatives and friends don't. That's why Billy Brooks and John Allen had to leave Dodge City. They found themselves ringed with enemies.
Yeah.
And the low-downest thing a man can do is to make gunplay against drunks. If the drunk dies, why, well, they say you took advantage of him. If you die, they...
Quiet.
If you die, why, you're considered mighty poor to get killed by a drunk. Yeah.
Clay's yelling for you to come make your fight.
Now, where?
It's outside Albright's store. I think there's about a dozen cowhands inside. I believe they got the guns with them.
All right.
Well, shouldn't me and the boys take the guns away from those cowhands first?
No, you just stay where I told you. I'll be out there directly.
Okay.
Why do you get just too drunk and fall over?
He's had his chance.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kill him.
Afraid I'm gonna have to.
Tie him off. Come on out of your hole, Earp. I ain't waiting all day.
Mr. Allison, I don't want you to depend on my habit of only wounding a man.
You ain't scaring me. Well, go ahead. Draw. Draw!
It's your move.
What's the matter, Albright? What are you scared of? You offered me $1,000 to gun him. You promised plenty of men to back me up. Well, there's Earp and there's his deputies. You want me to take them on all by myself?
All over.
Look out, he's coming.
You may have to drop. Watch Albright's men.
You couldn't tame a town like Dodge City, Kansas in 1876 by preaching the golden rule alone. If Dodge was to be civilized, the only argument was a fast gun or hard fists. Marshal Wyatt Earp knew this from bloody experience, and Marshal Earp should have known that his enemies were still out to get him by assassination or by so discrediting him that he would have to quit.
Dear Margaret, it's happened. I have fallen in love. His name is Wyatt Earp, and he's the marshal here in Dodge City. Dodge City of all places. But that's why I know it's real. Dodge is very real. There's nothing but dust and the hot Kansas sun and...
Wyatt, are you hurt?
It was Fabian. No, ma'am, I'm not hurt at all, thanks.
But he is. Did you shoot him?
Oh, no, ma'am. I just hit Mr. Driscoll over the head. A bit.
Oh, but he's bleeding.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sullivan, would you take Mr. Driscoll to jail, please?
But Wyatt, shouldn't he have a doctor?
And send for Doc McCarty.
I'm sorry, Mr. Earp.
Forget it. Miss Fabian, you don't belong here.
Oh, but I was afraid that...
The judge isn't going to like this. You made yourself kind of prominent.
I embarrassed you. I'm sorry.
Well, it isn't that. It's just that you shouldn't rush out when you hear gunfire. You might get yourself hurt.
Would that bother you?
Yes, ma'am, it sure would. To say nothing about how your father'd feel.
Don't tell me you're afraid of my father. Or of public opinion.
Look, Miss Sally, this is Dodge City. Like I've been trying to tell you for a week, it's a rough town. Mr. Driscoll was drunk, carrying guns in the street. They were loaded with real bullets.
All right. Once more, I'm sorry.
Will you promise me not to rush out of the hotel when you hear gunfire?
All right. Why don't you come in and talk to me?
Well, I'd like nothing better, but I can't right now.
Why not?
Well, you see, Mr. Driscoll's a friend of Mr. Rakel, and they were drinking together, and I gotta go find Mr. Rakel before he cuts loose.
I didn't dream life in a little western town could be so simple-minded.
Well, you get your father to tell you how simple-minded drunks and gunslingers can be.
No, you explain it to me. In half an hour?
I'll be back in 30 minutes.
I'll be waiting then.
Where's Mr. Rakel?
The Long Branch Saloon, picking a fight with the dealer.
Hey, let's go.
You and the teachers at Miss Finchley's won't believe me, but I've just returned from a street fight. My dear Wyatt had to hit a drunken man on the head with a pistol. He is still Miss-Sallying me, but this time he called me Miss Fabian, so I mustn't...
Help! 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 That man is drunk! Don't let him kill me!
You bet I'll kill... Stand aside, you tin-horn Johnny Law. I'm gonna teach this little runt.
You're under arrest, Mr. Rakel.
You can't arrest me, Herb. This town belongs to the Rakel and the Driscoll outfit.
Not anymore.
Why, Mr. Rakel?
Well, my old friend Judge Fabian. Judge, tell this young hoodlum
Lock him up.
Oh, one moment, Herb. I'm well acquainted with Mr. Rakel.
I'm sorry, Judge, but he pulled a gun on this man.
Oh, now, Mr. Rakel...
I said lock him up. I'm sure the judge doesn't want to argue this case in the street.
Anything I can do to help, Judge?
Yes, Mr. Albright. Try to talk some sense into that young hothead.
I'll take care of it right away, Your Honor.
Why, Papa. You look angry.
Oh, it's that young Marshall fellow, Herb. He had the cheek to arrest Bob Rakel.
Who's Mr. Rakel?
Why, he and Toby Driscoll have the two largest cattle spreads anywhere. Both fine men. Fine men.
And they're both in jail.
What?
Well, Wyatt arrested Mr. Driscoll about 10 minutes ago. He was drunk and shooting guns in the street.
Oh, no. Toby and Bob do $1 million worth of business in a year. Did I hear you call that fellow Wyatt?
Yes.
Since when are you on first-name terms with Mr. Earp?
I've been seeing him, Papa. Every chance I can get.
You and Earp?
I'm in love with him. I intend to marry Wyatt if he'll have me.
If he'll... I think we'd best talk about this later.
Let's talk about it right now.
Well, I've got to go to the jail.
Papa, Wyatt hasn't asked me, so don't blame him. Or at least, well, I do have some pride.
I've always been patient with you.
What are you doing in here?
Same as you, I reckon. But you'll never make this stick, Wyatt.
Look, you were drinking and shooting guns in the street, and that'll stick.
Oh, no, you don't, Herb. Turn them both loose. That's an order.
From who?
From Judge Fabian.
He hasn't heard the evidence yet.
Now, you wait a minute.
You get in there, too. Listen to you in court.
By that time, you won't be in any shape to listen.
Well, if you want to bring your men in, try it. Albright tried it. He offered Clay Allison $1,000 to gun me. You know, the trouble with you big pistols is you turn into pop guns every time a fight's off it. Well, you'll have to stay here and watch him. But you better get some cotton to plug your ears.
All right, Judge, what's on your mind?
Well, I started to the jail to talk to Herb, but for personal reasons, I decided not to.
No use talking to him.
With George Hoover away, you're acting mayor. Yeah? Well, can't you persuade Herb to release Bob and Toby?
No, sir. He threw Pete Albright in the same cell.
Albright, eh? It won't do, Mr. Kelly. You realize that, don't you?
Well,
Herb has to release those men. If he doesn't, he'll have both the Rakel and the Driscoll outfits treeing the town. Doesn't the young fool have any respect for his own life?
None at all. He'll never make old bones.
And that's satisfactory to you, huh?
Listen, I ain't had a moment's peace since Earp got here. He's near got me killed 4 times. The finest funeral I'd pay for him.
You sound sincere.
I am that, on oath.
Then why not discharge the man? Isn't that the simplest way out?
No, sir.
Huh?
He's like my own conscience, Judge. Bedeviling me day and night. A man can't discharge his own conscience.
You rate Mr. Earp rather high.
The bravest and the best, sir. I hate him, and I envy him.
You gonna back him in this play?
I've no choice. And neither of you, Judge. What, Lord save us all, the man's right.
My daughter seems to agree with you.
Yes. And you talk to Wyatt about that. It's a father's duty.
Well, a young man with the character you give
And
him.
he'll die young. So he's no business leaving your Miss Sally a widow.
I agree with you. And I will talk to him.
Oh, good for you, Judge.
You Rakel's men? I'm Toby Driscoll's foreman.
Oh, yeah, you're big rants, aren't you?
Wyatt Earp threw both Driscoll and Rakel in jail.
Threw them both in jail for what?
Getting a little drunk. Us Driscolls aim to go after Earp. How about you?
Well, I don't know. He's pretty fast on the draw.
Gunning's too good for him. We got other plans. Tell you about it on the way to Dodge.
All right. Come on, boys. Let's ride.
Just 1 second, sir. Wyatt, Judge Fabian to see you.
No, thank you, Hal. Sit down, sir.
Thank you. I came to see you on a personal matter.
Look, sir, if it's about Driscoll and the...
No. I will find them in court tomorrow morning.
Well, thank you, sir. You see, it's sort of a test case. We can't afford to treat the cattle owners any different than the hired hands. You see...
Quite so. My daughter tells me that she's been seeing you, socially.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Earp, you're in a dangerous profession.
Yes, sir.
I don't think Sally understands just how dangerous it is.
Well, I sure tried to tell her.
You in love with Sally?
Well, sir, I hope not. But I'm afraid I am.
Why do you say you hope not?
Well, sir, for the same reason you came here. We both know what kind of a life a peace officer lives, what can happen to him. You see, Sally's from Boston, and well, sometimes I get the feeling that, well, that she thinks Dodge City is just a great big Wild West show.
I'm certain of that. I don't think she realizes just how violent and brutal life on the frontier can be.
Well, sir, that's why I haven't,
Asked her to marry you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope you'll give yourself time to do some more thinking about it. I can't pretend that Sally would follow my wishes. She's like her mother, who insisted that we move west after the war. This country demanded more of my wife than her health could stand. I blame myself. That's why well, thank you for hearing me out.
Yes, sir.
Good day, Marshal.
So dreadful you can't tell me. What did my father say to you?
Just what every father would say. He was really very nice about it. What he had to say made sense.
Wyatt, my father's prejudice against this country for women on account of my mother.
I know. He doesn't want you to marry a man in my line of work.
So that's it. He's afraid I couldn't face up against the daily fear of your being hurt. I'm a coward.
You think about it.
I don't want to think about it. Wyatt, you are in love with me.
Yes, I am. But it can't come true. Not right now.
Why not?
Because of what you are, Sally, and what I am. What life in Dodge is like. You can't just marry.
Why didn't you shoot back?
He was aiming high. He was just trying to warn me.
I think I would have shot back. You see, I really am quite tough.
No, you're not.
Wyatt, did I faint? Am I crying?
We haven't seen a man get hit with a .45 slug yet.
I saw you hit Mr. Driscoll with a gun.
Oh, you do have courage, Sally.
I have more courage than you. I'd marry you tomorrow. Say yes, Wyatt. Accept the proposal of this bold, bad woman who loves you so.
Sally, I love you so much that
Then it's settled. I'm going to be Mrs. Wyatt Earp. You can't escape now, dear.
Darling, I don't want to escape. I just want you to be sure that...
Wyatt! Wyatt! You better take Miss Sally right straight back to the hotel.
Why?
The Driscoll and Rakel outfits are headed for town. Slap his face and wake him up from dreaming. He's the marshal of Dodge City, and if he don't think quick, he's going to be dead.
Dead?
Well, I hate to be so blunt, but you need to learn the truth.
Mr. Kelly is an excitable Irisher, Sally.
Don't let Mr. Earp blarney you. There's a bunch of mean, killing cowhands coming after him.
Very well, then. I'll have my father deputize every man in town. We'll fight them.
Not this boy. He'll try to do it all by himself.
Oh, now. Wyatt, you're not that foolhardy, are you?
Look, I've had men coming after me ever since I started as a marshal. 9 times out of 10, it was a false alarm, and the other times... Well, I'm still living. Now, you go on back to your place and soak your head in a bucket of water. I'll talk to you later. Mr. Kelly has a large imagination.
Whatever my faults, I ain't a widowmaker.
Widowmaker. Is that supposed to frighten me?
Well, no, it's just bad-tempered Kelly talk.
I wonder if my father couldn't have planned this whole thing. It's quite possible.
No.
Then if it is true about the cowhands, what are you going to do?
Well, I tell you, I'm going to take you back to your hotel, and I'm going to go have a nice long talk with Mr. Kelly.
But the cowhands, he said they were going to...
I'd have punched you one. I've let all your remarks about marriage pass, but what you pulled tonight was just about the limit.
Well, save your strength. You're gonna need it in the morning.
For what?
You ever hear of Big Rance, the foreman for Toby Driscoll?
No, I can't say as I have. Is he faster than Clay Allison?
He don't fight with guns. He fights with his fists.
Oh, well, that'll be a nice change.
Well, you won't think so. He's bigger than you are. And he's whipped every top fighter from here to San Antonio.
You trying to tell me that all they're gonna do is try and get me into a fist fight with Rance?
Driscoll and Rakel ain't stupid. They know Judge Fabian would call in the soldiers and hang any man who tried to gun you.
All right, so there's much ado about nothing.
Nothing, is it? Rance will beat you to a bloody pulp. You'll live a cripple the rest of your days, if you don't die.
Maybe. Now, what was the idea of trying to scare Miss Sally?
I asked you a question, and you'll get no answer from me. If you don't know what's wrong with you marrying a girl like her, I'd never get it through your thick head.
That widow'll make a remark, huh?
Look, I got some fine brass knuckles around here. You better try 'em on for size.
I don't need your brass knuckles or anything else. So you think I'll leave Miss Sally a widow, huh?
It ain't likely. When Big Rance gets through with you, there couldn't even be a marriage. Now quit being a fool and put these in your pocket.
No, thanks.
Well, I've seen Big Rance fight. At least let me show you some of his dirty tricks.
I'm not interested, Mr. Kelly. But in regards to Miss Sally, if I ever hear this...
Get out of my place! I won't sleep a wink tonight. I'll see Big Rance's fists breaking your jaw and cracking your ribs. He wears Mexican spurs on his boots, and I can see him now.
Mr. Kelly, will you kindly shut up? I found myself a brave girl. You know, you're the one that ought to be wearing skirts. Sometimes I think you're my friend, other times I think you're my enemy. You do me a favor tomorrow morning and be my friend, huh?
What's the deal?
Just don't try and stop the fight. Promise? Oh, and I hope you'll stand up for me at my wedding.
You're dreaming, Wyatt.
Judge fined us each $100. 300. Count it.
It's all right, Mr. Driscoll. I trust you when you're sober.
Thanks.
One other piece of business, Earp. A lot of our boys are waiting outside. They're not packing guns.
Yeah, I noticed that through the window.
My foreman, Mr. Rance, would like to have a talk with you. That is, if you'll take off your guns and keep your deputies from interrupting the conversation.
I tell you, Mr. Driscoll, I've already issued the necessary orders. I just hope you gentlemen have picked out a nice ringside section.
We're going to enjoy every second you last.
Your name, Rance?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Give him the spurs, Rance.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it! What happened? Why is Wyatt fighting?
He had no choice.
You stop him! He's lost his mind! He'll put his eyes out! You'll blind him!
Can't stop a fight. Rance won't quit.
Come on, get up. Give it up again. Come on. What's going on? Come on.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it!
Come on. Give it, Rance. Get him now, Rance. Get him.
Throw some water on.
You can take more of a beating than this.
No, Wyatt, please. You've whipped him.
Stay
Get
back,
up.
Sally. Keep her back. He's had all he can take.
All right. Anybody else want some?
Yeah, I do. The Driscolls can't whoop you. Us Rakels can.
No, Wyatt, don't fight anymore.
She's right. You're tired.
Look, I either run this town or I don't.
Come on, get up!
Should have gone back to the hotel.
You didn't have to fight that other man. It was brutal.
I'm in a brutal business. I told you that. Now you know.
Yes. Now I know.
I think the fight's over, but you better put these on. She'll feel better about it after she thinks about it.
No. No, she won't. She didn't even have to slap my face. And quit dreaming, Mr. Kelly.
The law-abiding element in Dodge City was ashamed of their town's reputation as the Gomorrah of the western frontier. That's why they hired Wyatt Earp to be their marshal in 1876. But it takes time and money to civilize a tough town. The city fathers of Dodge were understandably alarmed when they heard that a reporter for the great and influential New York Herald would be stopping off to write a story about conditions. As for Marshal Earp, it would be a cruel test of his efficiency as a peace officer. Dozens of penny shockers had spread the bad name of Dodge City throughout the land. But if a correspondent of the New York Herald could be impressed by one quiet day,
So this is the rip-roaring Dodge City, eh? Where's the dead man they serve up for breakfast?
Mr. Jensen, welcome to Dodge. I'm George Hoover, the mayor.
Oh, how do you do?
And these gentlemen are council members Kelly.
Sir?
Moffett.
How do you do?
Gale.
Hello?
And our marshal, Mr. Earp.
Howdy.
Well, the famous Mr. Earp. When's the shooting start, Marshal?
Well, I kind of asked all the boys to hold off on that until after you got here. I think the first thing on the program is breakfast.
Well, yes, at my house. The rig's just across the street.
Thank you very much, sir. Oh, isn't Mr. Earp coming with us?
Well, of course.
Oh, thanks, but I got to feed my prisoners. I'll see you later.
By all means. I'll expect an interview.
Marshal Earp! Fight! Mom says you better come in a hurry.
Toby, just not so loud.
But Mom says you gotta stop him from fighting or she will.
All right. Now, who's fighting?
The dogs. Bosco, that belongs to Mr. Willett, and Avery, that belongs to Mr. Sam Donovan. Mom says it's against the law, and if you don't stop him, she'll do it with a shotgun.
Where's the fight?
Behind the Long Branch Saloon, right next to our backyard.
I'll be with you in a second.
Hurry, sir. Don't wait to put on your coat. Mom will get to shooting.
Yes, shut up! Didn't you men hear what I said?
Oh, no, it's her again.
I said Toby for the marshal. But if he don't come and stop it, I'll stop it.
Keep your temper, Sarah. Dogfighting's a sport like boxing or anything.
No, it ain't. When men fight, that's their business. But sicking two poor dogs on each other, that's dirty, mean, and cruel.
Pay no attention, Sam. Are all the bets in? All the bets down?
Everybody get
down. All right, form a circle, man. Form a circle.
Come on. Spread out. Spread out. I want Jack to get the first barrel, and Sam the other one.
Don't you bomb my friend Marshal Earp!
Sorry, gentlemen, no dog fights.
Yeah, why not?
Because you're disturbing Mrs. Cullen, and I don't like dog fights.
No? You just like to fight with guns, huh?
Well, I tell you, Mr. Willett, I don't mind a good fist fight. Why don't you and Mr. Donovan fight? I'll referee.
It's a good idea.
But if you want your dogs to do the fighting for you, then you better go outside the city limits where I can't stop you.
We'll have it some other time. When Nosy Sarah ain't around. And how about her threatening us with that gun, Deacon Earp?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Donovan, you can file a complaint, but then I'd have to charge you with cruelty to your dog.
Me? Cruel to him?
Well, you've been starving Avery to keep him in bad temper. You just move along, Mr. Donovan. I haven't finished my breakfast yet, and I'm kind of bad tempered myself. You better put away that gun, Mrs. Cullen.
Sure, Mr. Earp. And I thank you kindly.
Just about time for Toby to get ready for Sunday school, isn't it?
Aw, Mom, do I gotta?
Yes. Come on.
Mr. Earp needs me. Something else might happen. And I'm a special deputy on Saturdays and Sundays. Ain't I, Mr. Earp?
Oh, you've been a mighty big help, Mr. Toby.
No, he hasn't. He goes galloping after you, yelling bloody murder.
But, Mom!
There's a newspaper man from New York in town. Now, what'll he think of us? No chasing after Mr. Earp today, and not a yell out of you.
Yes, sir. So long, Mr. Earp.
I'll put you back on the force next weekend, Toby.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks, pal.
Sure. Nice, quiet Sunday, Wyatt. You can use one.
The whole town can use one, especially today.
Oh, you're talking about that newspaper fellow over at Mayor Hoover's, huh?
Mm-hmm. Hal, the eyes of the New York Herald are upon us.
Who cares what they think?
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. See, the city's trying to borrow some money, and an awful lot depends on how much...
Uh-oh.
Gosh, Mr. Earp, didn't you hear the fire bell? It's old man Cayley's shed. I saw the smoke just as I started
Toby.
for Sunday school, and the flames... Yes, sir?
The fire department will take care of Mr. Cayley's shed.
Toby, why don't you stop dogging Mr. Earp? He started one breakfast, then all of
All right, all right. Shed will burn clean down before they get those firemen collected. Poor old man.
What?
Mr. Cayley's in the shed. Dead drunk. Oh, excuse me for mentioning it. I know the shortest cut, Mr. Earp.
You try and eat the breakfast.
Stay here.
Don't try it, Mr. Earp. You'll get burnt off.
Come on, Art. Let's go.
Marshal running after him.
Oh, darn fool stunt. Start dipping your buckets in full water, boys. Mighty hot in there. Guess I'll make a try at getting Earp out. Drunk, dead to the world. Let her burn, boys. Save the water in case the house starts to hot up. All right, then, we won't use it. Mighty spunky work, Marshal, but you ought to arrest him. Third fire he started this year.
It's grand larceny, Mr. Earp.
It's just too much to drink. Now, you keep him here. Make him watch it burn.
Ought to let his house burn, too. Have a stronger effect.
Don't you worry, Mr. Cayley. They won't let your house burn. You still got plenty of time to make Sunday school.
What are you sorting me for? I didn't yell fire on the street.
I'm not sorry. You did a good deed.
Then I don't have to go. I can coast maybe until next Sunday.
Master Toby, you are in no state of grace to allow any coasting.
But I helped you save Mr. Cayley and the shed.
Now, do you want me to cancel your appointment as special deputy?
No, sir. I'll go.
Excuse me, Mr. Jensen. I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Not at all, Marshal. Trouble in town?
Nothing like that. Just a quiet, normal day. Excuse me, I'm gonna get myself a little slicked up for church.
Now, Marshal, aren't you pulling my leg?
In what way, Mr. Jensen?
All this talk about how quiet and peaceful Dodge City is. I've had quite a bit of it from your mayor and councilman. Is this town really civilized?
No, sir, not yet.
How long have you been marshal here, Mr. Earp?
Oh, about 3 months now.
How many men have you had to kill in the line of duty?
Well, none so far.
Really? But there have been killings here. Pitched gun battles, that sort of thing?
Well, been a few killings and gunfights.
But this is just a normal, quiet day. Not a shot fired since...
Excuse me, Mr. Jensen. I'll be back in a minute.
Go on. Hal, I come up.
Come on, back here.
Come on. Drunken discharging weapons in the street.
Those men were just showing off, Mr. Jensen.
Well, nobody got hurt.
Oh. I wish you'd put that in your paper. You know, 90% of all the wildness in Dodge is just bragging and bluster like that. You see, it's...
Indians, Mr. Earp. A big bunch of dull nice men on the warpath. It'll be a massacre. Reverend Halcott sent everybody home from Sunday school, and...
Hold it. Now, there's no truth in this, is there, Toby?
Yes, sir, there sure is. They're right outside the town, and they sent a message to Mayor Hoover.
You sure?
There he is now, and Mr. Kelly. That'll prove it.
Now, son, it's all right. I can't understand this, Wyatt. A buffalo hunter brought it in. He says there's a war party of Cheyennes this side of the river.
Folks are getting a little excited, Wyatt.
Excited? They're scared. Mom's loading the shotgun with slugs.
Yeah, they want to send a powwow man into town. Guess I better ride out there.
Alone? Oh, heaven save us all.
Mr. Jensen, I kind of like to have you go along with me out there.
Well, that's foolhardy, Wyatt. Why don't we let the powwow man come in and say what he has to say?
Because he wouldn't get 50 yards down Front Street. I don't think there's too much risk in it, Mr. Jensen. Anyway, I'd kind of like to have you see how wild rumors run in our town.
Very well. Glad to accompany you, Marshal.
Wyatt, you want to get him killed by Indians?
If he's even scratched, the New York
Mr.
Herald...
Mayor, I take it for granted that Mr. Jensen is here to write the truth about us. Isn't that right, Mr. Jensen?
That's right, Mr. Earp.
Can we borrow your buggy? Oh, and keep young Toby here.
Dull Knife and his people are on the warpath, you know.
We're friendly. I help Mr. Cousin, Mr. Brother. They're blood kin to Dull Knife. Promise safe conduct to me and anybody with me.
The Cheyennes out there know that?
I sure hope so.
Friends here?
No. What's the trouble?
No trouble. Much. My brother got arrow in leg. He went white man's doctor.
Put him on a horse.
You shoot him, huh?
No.
What is your name?
Earp. Wyatt Earp.
Mr. Cousin of Yellow Hen, say you are good man. Is there also good white doctor?
Doc McCarty. Very good doctor.
I will put my brother on horse.
I'm most grateful, Mr. Earp. This is the best story I've collected on my travels.
Quiet, no violence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, afraid I missed church. I'd like to have you be my guest for dinner.
Thank you, but I doubt if I'll have much of an appetite. Indians scare me. We've given them so many good reasons to shoot.
You better come quick. It's Frog-Face Perkins and Mr. Kelly. Frog-Face says he's going to shoot Mr. Kelly. And Mr. Kelly, he's got a gun.
All right, all right. Why don't you break it up?
Perkins ain't armed. I figure it's a lot of talk.
No, it ain't. There'll be a bloody gunfight, Mr. Earp.
Toby, I think your mother wants you. Al, take the Indian on over to Doc McCarty's. Mr. Jensen, I'll see you over at the Dodge House in about 10 minutes.
And I say you're a cheat and a swindler, Kelly. You just hang on to that gun. I'm going to get my own gun.
Well, Mr. Perkins, now what's all this row between you and Mr. Kelly?
He knows. Maybe he'll tell you.
Let him go for his gun, Wyatt. I ain't running.
Now, wait a minute. Put that gun up, Mr. Kelly. Now, there's not going to be any gunfighting today. If I catch either one of you with a gun, there's going to be trouble. You understand?
All right. You're the law.
Councilman Kelly.
Well, I'm in the right of the quarrel.
Well, then fight it out some other day. Just when I got this newspaper man thinking we're half civilized, you go and bust loose.
Ah, I told George Hoover we could never hide what we are. Let them New York papers print what they like.
Mr. Kelly, $100,000 is a big loan in these days.
We won't get it.
Well, we might. If Jensen doesn't go and print us up as a rowdy bunch. Now, I'm going to ask you as a personal favor not to get in any trouble today. How about it?
Well, for what Perkins called me, I should blow his gizzard out. But I owe you the favor.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Aaron go brah.
Porterhouse steak, 25 cents. Roast of buffalo hump, 30 cents. Prairie chicken fricassee, 20 cents. I'll have to show this menu to Delmonico's when I get back to New York.
Well, I recommend the quail on toast. It's very good.
But that's 50 cents. I don't want to put on airs.
You get 2 whole quail, more than you can eat with vegetables and all.
Well...
Yeah, it's just a horse race. I kind of wish the boys wouldn't use Front Street, though. Well, Sully, I'll start with some oysters and some quail on toast. And...
Marshal Earp!
I thought I told you that you were
It's a
supposed
crooked race, Mr. Earp. The Bardee rider fouled that lazy H pony.
Will you please go home?
Yes, sir. But don't blame me if the lazy H'ers go for their guns. And if they don't kill a few, the gamblers will. But don't blame me.
You go ahead and order. I'll be right back.
Our horse got fouled. You hit him across the face with your quirt just as he was going to pass you.
That's a dirty lie.
We want fair and square. You lazy H's are just crybabying to get out of paying the bets.
We ain't paying no bets.
You don't welch on us. We'll get our guns and then we'll collect.
We got guns, too.
You bet we do.
Let's get this settled.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know who was fouled, and I don't care, but I'm calling all bets off.
All right. Then we'll run the race over.
Next Sunday.
What big-headed notion is this, Earp? You can't tell us
Yes,
what...
I'm telling you. Now, all bets are off, and the race is postponed 1 week. You understand? I'll break it up.
I'll bet you not.
Go on.
Where's Jensen?
Oh, he went with Mr. Kelly. Looked at Boot Hill just before dark.
Yeah, I reckon they went back to Kelly's place to have a drink. Yeah. What do you think we put it over?
Hope so. You want some milk?
No. Well, it has been a quiet day. No killings, no gunfights, and only 2 arrests.
Yeah, well, we all tried to sit on the lid.
Jensen couldn't write anything wild and woolly about us.
Well, not yet, no, but I'll sure be a lot happier when he's on that night stage for Kansas City.
Maybe you should have stayed with him, Wyatt.
He took quite a shine to Jim Kelly.
Wish I had more confidence in Jim.
Come on, you like Mr. Kelly? Anyway, he's what the newspaper men call a colorful personality.
Yes, that's right, but... Toby, are you still dogging Mr. Earp around?
No, sir.
Well, it must be good news. Whatever it's bad news, he comes in on the gallop.
I guess it's good.
What do you mean, Toby?
Well, I don't think Frog-Faced Perkins would actually kill Mr. Jensen. He might kill Mr. Kelly, but what's he got against Mr. Jensen?
Well, come on out with it. Did Frog-Face have his guns?
A gun, yes, sir.
Well, then what happened? I mean, where are they?
Boot Hill Cemetery.
Good heavens. Tell us, boy.
Nothing much to tell, I guess. Frog-Faced Perkins sneaked up and caught him at Boot Hill.
Well, then what did they do?
Well, he said he was going to shoot Mr. Kelly and then shoot Mr. Jensen because he'd be a witness. But I don't think he'd actually shoot Mr. Jensen.
Well, how long ago was this?
Just before dark.
Good heavens above. What happened after Perkins put a gun on them?
I don't know. I got scared and ran. It'd soon be dark in Boot Hill, and that's a scary place, and I wouldn't be scared with Mr. Earp along. Is it all right if I go too?
No, you go home. And if I ever catch you running after Mr. Earp again, I'll send you to reform school.
Reform school?
The reform school.
Reform school.
Your time is about up, Kelly. You gonna buy a footstone from my pal's grave?
Never. I spent all the money you give me for the headstone, and $12 more.
Why, that headstone ain't worth no $70. You're a no good cheat, Kelly. You're the lowest skunking cheat there is. Robbing the dead.
Mr. Perkins.
Yeah?
I see no need for this morbid talk. I don't defend Mr. Kelly. He's a stubborn Irishman.
You hear that, Kelly?
But that's no reason for committing cold-blooded murder. I'm reaching for money, not a gun.
I don't want your money. I want him to pay.
Not 1 red cent.
All right. I'll give you 10 seconds to say a prayer. Now start praying.
You start. Shoot him, Wyatt.
I ought to break his arm.
Go ahead.
No, stop it. That wouldn't make nice reading in the Herald, Mr. Earp.
No, I guess it wouldn't, Mr. Jensen. Come on, Mr. Kelly. Give me a hand over to Doc McCarty's. Get the scalp stitched up.
You're hooligans, all of you.
Ruthless, brutal hooligans. Listen to that now. You keep Frog-Face from murdering the both of us, and he calls your names.
He'll change his mind when he's had a chance to think about it. I'll take a look in your trunk rack if you don't mind.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Earp. You hold up stages in your spare time?
Well, I thought so.
Oh, Mr. Earp.
Now, come on, get out there. All right, Willie.
Go on.
Bye, Mr. Jensen. What did you think you were doing?
Mayor Hoover threatened to send me to reform school.
Well, that's just a joke, Toby. But what Mr. Jensen's going to write about us won't be any joke.
Why should he write bad things about us? Nobody did anything much. It was a nice, quiet day.
Sure. But when you get to be an old man and read about Dodge City in the history books, well, there just won't be any quiet days at all.
Why?
Well, because the quiet days, the ones where people didn't do any fighting or killing or steal each other blind, well, they just won't be counted in the history books.
But doesn't the good Lord count them, Mr. Earp?
Yes, Toby. He counts them.
Wyatt Earp has often been charged by his enemies with hating cowhands and bearing a grudge against them. Historians of the frontier have refuted this accusation, but it was a serious matter to Marshal Earp in the Dodge City of 1876. Hundreds of cowhands made the town what R.M. Wright, a local diarist, called the cowboy capital. Marshal Earp and a handful of deputies had a tough job, keeping the peace in Dodge City. This meant daily clashes with cowhands, determined to celebrate their brief vacations from the hard work, the perils, and the loneliness of cattle ranges.
They're taking my last dollar and I can't get a job. Sure, I'll get out of town, but I'll take some of you with me. Tell the law I'll be waiting for him at the Santa Fe station.
Cowhand broke loose in front of the Long Branch Cafe, wounded 2 men.
Yeah? Where is he now?
He's holed up in the Santa Fe warehouse. I guess we're going to have to blow him out, Marshal.
Maybe, but wait a minute.
What do you know about that warehouse? Oh, Wyatt, he's just a punk kid. A couple of shots will blow him out.
Maybe not, Hal. You say he wounded 2 men?
He fired his gun at a sidewalk crowd, wounded 2 people, Mr. Todd and Mr. Chalmers. He didn't even know him.
Did you get his name?
Yeah. Milburn. Thad Milburn, somebody said. Why, do you know him?
Milburn? Well, that's an alias Billy the Kid uses.
No, he's older than Billy the Kid.
Come on, Pete, this might be serious. Anyway, you're not going to blast him out with any shotgun.
That warehouse has a heavy door. The rest of it's double timber.
All right, we'll starve him out or use dynamite. Milburn's on a real rampage. I'm afraid...
Al, I'm afraid, too. Now, you and Pete go on down there and try and talk him out. If you won't come, just watch the door. Anyway, get behind some cover, but don't shoot.
Well, what's the idea, Wyatt?
Well, I want to arrest Milburn, not kill him. Well, maybe he's off balance. Maybe he had a reason for what he did. Anyway, I just want you to go down there and watch him until I get there.
Yes, sir. Those cowhands hate us enough without using buckshot on a fool kid.
Hey, Marshal. Hey, did you get that fella?
No, not yet.
Stole a horse and run out of town, huh?
No, he's holed up down at the Santa Fe warehouse. What do you know about him?
Well, not much. In fact, nothing at all. You see, well,
Go on, anything will help.
Well, last night, this cowhand turns up at my barn, and his horse was on his last leg. All right, I'm coming. How you want?
I don't like to disturb you, mister, but my horse is kind of sick, and
Well, I ain't no regular horse doctor.
Oh, he don't need nothing but a good night's rest in a warm stall.
Well, might have glanders or something. Don't look like it's nothing contagious. Maybe I ought to drench him with turpentine.
Well, are you sure that'll help him?
Well, I ain't making no promises. All I know is he's ailing, and a turpentine drench might bring him out of it.
Well, all right.
That'll be $1 for his board and $2 for doctoring him. In advance.
I'll be back in about an hour. Put him in a stall, but hold off on that doctrine. What's the best gambling place in this town?
Oh, around on Front Street, Long Branch Saloon.
We'll get well, Tony, the both of us. You just take it easy.
That's all I know, or care. Say, why ain't you down to Santa Fe arresting that rascal? Shot 2 men, didn't he?
My deputies are watching Milburn. And you say that you think he went down to the Long Branch after he left here last night, huh?
Well, I ain't swearing to it.
I'll go down and check Mr. Beeson, the Long Branch. Thanks.
Hey, Milburn! We're deputy marshals. Come out of there, you ain't got a chance.
Come and get me!
I'd like to have a few words with you, Mr. Beeson.
Why, sure, Wyatt.
That, young Milburn, was he playing fair on here last night?
That wild cowhand? Yeah, he was.
What happened?
Just about what you'd expect, Wyatt. Lost $40 or $50, all he had. Then, like most cowhands that lose all their money.
You down from the bottom. Let me see that box. You took my last dime. I'm out of a job.
All right. All right, I don't want any trouble.
You get out of my place, cowhand, and you stay out.
All I want is my gun.
Throw it out the door. Now get out. Just a stinking cowman, Marshal. Ain't you got him in jail?
No, not yet. Your dealer cheat him?
Cheat him? Certainly not. You know, you would have said being a friend of Jim Kelly.
What's Jim Kelly got to do with it?
Just this, Marshal. That kid left here, he went right down the street to Jim Kelly's place. Now, if he got cheated or bad liquor, that's where he got it.
Well, I don't think so, but I'll ask Mr. Kelly.
Go devil and come St. Patrick. A cowhand with guns running wild, and you ask questions about what happened last night. Is Milburn a cousin of yours?
You know, he might be my kid brother.
You poke fun at me from a soft heart.
Now, look, Mr. Kelly, there's no other way of getting Milburn out of that place except to dynamite it and maybe kill him. Now, you say he pawned his gun with you, and then he won about $110.
That's right.
Where'd he go from here?
Well, let's see. I got it. He said he was looking for a job. Somebody mentioned that Tex Davis was at the Dodge Hotel.
Excuse me, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, Jack?
Hal sent word that Milburn is threatening to come out and make a fight of it with him and Pete. Hal wants to know what you want to do.
Well, tell them to wing the kid if they have to. I'll be down there in a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you want him just winged, you better do it yourself. Pete and Hal won't take chances. They'll kill him.
No. Not against orders, they won't. Now, I'm going to go try and find Mr. Tex Davis.
He's right over there.
You know, I don't know who to put in jail. Thad Milburn or Dodge City.
Lord save all here. Wyatt's losing his mind.
Howdy, Mr. Davis.
Well, howdy, Wyatt. Here, draw up a chair. Have something to drink. Bartender, hey.
Nothing for me, thanks.
Oh, not even a glass of milk?
I just wanted to ask you a question, sir.
Oh, well, fire away, son. Fire away.
Did a young fella by the name of Thad Milburn ask you for a job last night?
Oh, blasted. Now you spoiled my drink.
How's that?
Milburn, ornery little son of a mule. I tell you, Wyatt, I should have shot him. I just should have shot him dead. He came walking up to me and my lady friend on the porch.
Excuse me, sir. Are you Mr. Tex Davis?
Right, son. That's my name.
I wanted to know if you could use another hand.
Oh, yeah? Where you from?
Montana.
What outfit?
Mr. Granville Stewart's.
Oh, yeah. I sure heard about him. Why'd you quit?
Well, it was personal reasons, sir.
Personal reasons?
I didn't commit any crime, Mr. Davis.
Now, look, son, what makes you think you could ride with a Texas outfit? Look at him. Spindle shank young pup from the north where his belly's blue and his back is yellow. Stand aside, Yank.
Not very good manners.
Oh. You aiming to teach me?
It might help to pretend that you're a gentleman.
Oh, no, Colonel.
Let go my arm!
Don't, he's drunk.
Yeah, I should have shot him. But I turned on my heel and I left them both flat. And it served that girl right. You got that crazy kid in jail?
Oh, you're also of the opinion that I should put him in jail, huh, Mr.
Well,
Davis?
of course I am. Of course I am. The idea of him thinking he can ride with a Texas outfit. Why, sir, in Montana, do you know that they're putting up fences? They're looping the range with fences?
That's very sad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Davis.
Oh, that's very sad.
Get your guns cocked, Johnny Law. Here I come.
Did we hit him? Huh? Did we hit him any?
No, shooting trying to wing a man is harder than trying to kill him. Tell Hank to get the dynamite. We're gonna need it ready when Wyatt gets here.
Right.
Questions about Thad Milburn.
Well, all right. Did you shoot him? Is this for the coroner's inquest?
No, he's still alive.
In jail? You tell me, and I'll tell you, Mr. Earp. Otherwise, no conversation.
That's fair enough. Now, what I'm trying to find out is why Milburn would shoot into a crowd of innocent bystanders this morning. Does that make sense to you?
Sure. One of the most sensible things I ever saw a cowhand do was what Milburn did.
Why do you say that?
Thad wasn't treated very good in this town, Mr. Earp. I suppose you talked to Mr. Kelly, Mr. Beeson, and Colonel Davis. A mean cowhand would have killed Davis. Thad had every right to shoot him. Colonel was so drunk he could hardly stand up, much less hit the side of a barn with a Derringer pistol.
All right. I've traced Milburn to the point where he met you on the Dodge Hotel porch. What happened after that?
You gonna quote me around? Get me in trouble?
No. But Milburn's holed up at the Santa Fe warehouse. He's threatened to shoot it out with my deputies. I gotta know the truth about him and know it quick.
All right. You get the truth. Last night, on the porch. Don't be a fool, Cowhand. We got a real tough marshal.
Yeah. Wyatt Earp. What were you doing out with that old man anyway?
I figured him for $100, maybe $2. But you kind of spoiled it.
Are you hard up, broke?
Never mind. Get on your way. The colonel might come back.
Well, he's sore at you the same as me. I'll walk along with you wherever you're going.
No, thanks.
Well, I got to go to the livery stable and look after my horse. You sure you'll be all right, miss?
Just look after your horse.
Tony's kind of sick, or I wouldn't go rushing off.
Wait. Did you leave him at Ruger's or Brown's?
Well, Ruger's.
Uh-oh. I'll walk along with you if you don't mind.
I'd be right pleased, ma'am. This town's kind of lonesome. I guess he's closed and gone home.
No, there's a light on in here.
Maybe he's had to doctor him. I asked him to hold off on the doctor until I got back.
Wait, Thad. Give me your gun.
Huh?
Just give it to me.
Well, what did you do that for?
I know old man Ruger. Mr. Ruger!
There! What do you want? Eh? Oh, you should have come back sooner. I couldn't do nothing for that horse. Where is he? He's in there. Where'd you pick him up?
Same place you did, Dodge City.
Oh, I tried to be friendly and decent.
In a pig's eye you did.
I asked you not to doctor him.
Well, sure, but the poor critter went into a fit. I dosed him with heart pills. It's all I could do. But he was too far gone.
Where's my saddle?
Well, I'm holding it.
Why?
It'll cost me $10 to bury that horse. Have you got it?
You know what I think, mister? I think you killed Tony, and now you're trying to hold me up for burying him.
I don't care what you think. $10 cash, or I keep the saddle.
You horse-killing thief.
Stop it, Dad. You haven't got a chance. You're a cowhand. Let go of him.
I'm burying him myself the first thing at sunup, and he better be just like he is. You try to skin that horse to sell his hide, I'll kill you.
Come on, Dad.
Is that the last time you saw Melbourne?
What do you take me for? Or him? Came back here and had a drink.
Oh, I see.
No, you don't see. Thad slept on the floor. He had nightmares. Mostly about being lost in a blizzard up north. Montana.
All right.
It ain't all right. None of it. He's a decent, simple kid. Had to quit riding herd up there because he almost froze to death once. The doctor told him to move south. All he wanted in this town was fair treatment and a chance to do the only thing he ever worked at. Being a cowhand.
Did you give him fair treatment, Miss Ginger?
No.
Come on. Where's the money you won at Mr. Kelly's place?
I earned it, didn't I? He would have killed Davis and Ruby.
Come on. What time did he leave her?
I don't know. I guess around sunup to bury his horse.
Hal, where's Mr. Irv?
Well, I don't know. Ain't he been down here yet?
No, we ain't got time to stall around any longer.
He started snapping at everybody. Train will be in at 4 o'clock. He might even go shooting up the train.
Well, we'll rig the fuse to the dynamite.
Howdy, Marshal.
You tell me the truth.
Hey, who you pushing around?
You!
No.
Now, wasn't Melbourne here this morning come sunup?
Yes, he come here at sunup to bury that horse.
What happened?
Well, I'd already skinned the horse.
How come he didn't skin you?
I didn't let him see me. I hid up in the loft.
Too bad.
Well, he owed me money. And he's a thief besides. My Winchester and all my cottages are missing from the office. You're a fine city marshal, you are. Rousting an honest citizen around while that no-good cowhand's on the loose ready to shoot up the town.
Well, it's a wonder he didn't shoot up the town. Commencing with you. Now, is this his saddle?
Yeah.
Well, you just keep it for him, you understand?
Yeah.
Wyatt! Wyatt, have you lost your good senses entirely?
No, but I almost lost my temper.
Well, never
This
mind
horse-killing
about him. You know what your deputies are fixing to do? They're going to blow up that kid with dynamite.
No, they won't. They got their orders.
Orders, is it? Well, you'd better get over to the Santa Fe and enforce them.
Well, I found out all I need to know about Mr. Melbourne. Here, lend me your hat and coat, will you?
What?
Just take off the coat. Melbourne's never seen me. I want to look like a cattleman.
Why?
Don't ask so many questions, Mr. Kelly. I'm going into the Secret Service.
We'll keep him busy here. You sneak around back and plant the dynamite. Dig it in good so the whole place will blow.
Well, maybe we ought to wait a minute. Wyatt gave us strict orders.
I'll take the blame. We haven't got time. The train will be here in about 5 minutes. Go on.
Hey, Milburn. We waited long enough. Come on out or get blown out.
You can't bluff me, Johnny Law.
It ain't no bluff, kid. We got 20 sticks of dynamite planted in the back.
I think you're a liar, but I'm coming out as cold in here. Maybe you can warm me up.
Hold it! Hey, you in there. Hey, Callahan.
What do you want?
Well, I'd like to have a few words with you. And you, Johnny Laws, you hold your fire. I'm looking for a good cowhand.
Hank! Hank, hold your fire. Don't light anything.
Sonny, you in there, you be kind of easy on that trigger. I'm looking for a hand, but I don't aim to get myself killed trying to hire none.
This better not be a trick, mister.
Well, it ain't no trick. Just open up the door.
Close the door. How come those deputies listen to you? They claim they got this place mined with dynamite.
Well, you know, I wouldn't put it past them. You know, it's just no end to the dirty tricks that Dodge City play on a cowhand.
Who told you so much?
Well, I'm kind of an old...
Stand back.
I'm kind of an old settler in these parts. I've been here about 4 months now.
Settler? Thought you said you were a cattleman. Who are you? What's your name?
Wyatt Earp.
It is a trick. Turn around. No guns. I don't get it. You must have sense enough to know I can hold you as a hostage.
You sure can, Mr. Milburn. But after what Mr. Beeson, Davis, Ruger, and that girl did to you, I couldn't blame you a bit if you shot me in the back.
Turn around, Mr. Earp. How do you know what's happened to me in this town?
Well, I kind of made it my business to find out.
Why would you go to all that trouble for me? I'm nothing but a cowhand.
You know, you look all right, but you better have the doc see that leg.
Maybe I'm stupid, but I sure don't understand any of this.
Well, Mr. Milburn, I'm of the opinion that a cowhand is a human being. I'm kind of fond of my own horse, too. I could have busted Mr. Ruger's head after I saw what he did to your Tony.
Thanks.
Oh, I almost forgot it. I got the money that Ginger owed you for.
I still don't trust you, Mr. Earp. You're going out of here, in front of me.
That'd be a good idea. You ready to go? Well, you better bring that Winchester. It might come in handy.
Now, Mr. Milburn, I told Ruger to give you back your saddle. Buy yourself a horse and ride out of town.
Sure, have a posse after me?
No posse.
What's the catch?
You wounded 2 men under extreme provocation. But if you stand trial, I promise to get you off on a suspended sentence. Now, if you don't believe that, you can take it on the run.
Do like the marshal says, cowhand. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be living now.
I had the match lit, kid.
All right, Mr. Earp. I stand trial.
I'll take him over to Doc McCarty's.
Marshal, you know, you committed a mighty serious crime.
Oh, how's that?
That coat, that hat. You've been impersonating a Texan.